Hello?
Hello, I was calling for Mr. Royal.
Yeah, this is Justin.
Hey, not much. I was just calling to let you know what we found, what it is.
Yeah, the boat is gone. Well, as you guys can see, it is raining and the boat is gone. Looks like I've got some explaining to do. Yeah, things that are going on. I'll fill you guys in. Let's go inside. It's miserable out here, but I bet the fish are probably biting. All right, we are locked in back here in the office now. I want to scoot my chair up. Scoot your chair up so nobody ever gracefully scoots their chair up. Like, man, I just look cool when I scoot my chair up, you know? I don't think that's a thing. Everybody just looks dumb. Yeah, the boat is gone. The boat is not here. The boat is not in the driveway. The boat is not in my possession. The keys are not in my possession. It is not parked off to the side of the yard where you couldn't see it on camera. I did not hide the boat from you. It is gone off the property. The boat is actually about an hour away. Why is the boat in a different city? It is time to do all the yearly maintenance, so I'm having a trusted mechanic, a very trusted mechanic in the local area, recommended to me by several other bass anglers. From what I hear, this dude is the absolute best in the business. So having been a boat owner myself for like a better part of 10 years now, it's my third boat, my first bass boat, but my third boat in total. I had a inboard, outboard, a little 19-foot Maxim open bow boat, just a little runabout, little ski boat. It was red and white. I think it was a 1998 model or something like that. Pretty old boat. Ripped around on that thing for a season, sold that, and then got the 2012 Yamaha AR210 jet boat, which was like more of like a party boat, jet boat, runabout, ski boat type sport boat thing, and we really loved that boat. There's footage of me out on that boat here on this channel. If you're interested in seeing that, you can go way back. You can see fat me ripping around on the Yamaha AR210. But eventually, my focus shifted away from partying on the lake to catching fat girls on the lake, and I made the decision to get out of the AR210 and into my first bass boat, which leads me to the Skeeter. Now, I had always previously done all of my own maintenance on all of my boats. Never really came up much on the Maxim because I didn't own it that long. I just did whatever general maintenance I had to do for the short period of time that I owned it. But the Yamaha was different. I owned that boat for 8 years. So yeah, I did all the yearly maintenance myself, everything mechanical on that boat. Luckily, Yamaha builds a hell of a motor and nothing ever went wrong on that boat. All I had to do was change the oil filters, keep up with the other yearly maintenance, and that thing ran like a top. Never gave me a single issue for the entire duration of time that I owned it. It was an amazing boat, and I was lucky to have it. Had a lot of fun on that boat, Yamaha AR210. And now I have graduated onto the Skeeter. Skeeter, of course, owned by Yamaha. So Yamaha made a hell of a boat. Skeeter makes a hell of a boat. The motor on the Skeeter, however, is a 2-stroke motor. And while the maintenance is generally more simplistic, easier, if that's what you want to call it, on the 2 strokes, I myself am just not confident in working on an outboard 2-stroke motor. I've never done it before. I don't even, when I take the cowling off, I really don't even know what I'm looking at. I'm like, I see the spark plugs, there's the intake. I'm just not comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted a reputable Yamaha mechanic, somebody who's certified, looks at these things every single day, to do the maintenance on the boat. And not only do the maintenance, I wanted him to use his mechanical eyes and give the boat a glance over up and down, top to bottom, and see if there was anything that he sees on the boat that needed to be addressed. I feel like that's probably a good idea to do. It's been almost a year, not quite a year, more like 9 months since I bought the boat. August, September, October, February. It's been 9 months since I bought the boat, so that works. And the only thing I've done to it is put gas and 2-stroke oil in it. And it's never given me any issues. It's been running great. There are a couple minor things that have happened to the boat since I had it. Small nitpicky things that have gone wrong, such as a switch going out, my blinker trim being finicky, not working, that hopefully will be fixed when we get the boat back. We won't have to worry about it anymore. But like I said, I wanted somebody with a trained eye to look at the motor, which brings me to my next point, which is going to be the phone call that I had with the shop yesterday. I was actually sitting down to film a different video and the cameras were rolling. I'm going to let you guys hear some of that conversation right now. Me on the phone with the owner of the shop, and he's breaking the news. So yeah, you guys will hear what I'm talking about. Let's stay tuned. And you're also going to hear me talk a little bit about it afterwards while I was sitting there with the camera running. So I'm going to let you guys listen to some of that, and we'll pick it back up right here in a minute. Hello?
Hello, I was calling for Mr. Royal.
Yeah, this is Justin.
Hey, not much. I was just calling to let you know what we found. What it is, it's your lower crank case seal. So what's doing is it's got a leak in that seal, and it's draining down onto the lower unit shaft and through that cowling seam. It's, you know, a fairly moderate leak, but when they go boom. So we recommend obviously replacing that seal.
First of all, just let me say I appreciate you identifying the problem. It's only ever done that twice on me, and it was on really long runs.
And that makes sense because on the long runs is when it gets the hottest and can cause the most flex and potential for leakage.
Yeah, I definitely want to address it now instead of waiting for some catastrophic. So, did it look like any sort of like damage had been like?
No, everything looks good. Looks like we caught it in time, or you caught it in time, and I think if we go ahead and do this, you'll be fine.
Well, that's definitely a relief.
We'll probably have you done about the middle of next week if that works for you. That's really just the first thing we've looked at.
Okay.
All the other stuff looks to be pretty small, but I'll let him know. We'll go ahead and get the parts coming, and we'll stay in touch with you. Okay?
Yeah, no, I do appreciate the update. Appreciate the call. And if you need anything else, just holler at me.
You bet. We sure will.
All right. Yes, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Oh, so there that was. You guys heard that. Keeping it real. Got a call about Beetlejuice right as we're starting to film the new video, and it looks like it's good and bad news. We had a leak that's going to cost us a pretty little penny for the repair, but we caught it in time before any catastrophic major damage was done. It's not going to be a long-term issue. It'll take us until the middle of next week before we'll have our boat back, something you guys don't know. But yes, I took Beetlejuice to have its yearly service done, and I noticed there was a small little bit of oil coming out of the lower unit in one of the pinholes, and it looked like unspent 2-cycle oil to me. But I just got a call from the mechanic, and he said, unfortunately, Beetlejuice has a crankshaft seal leak and is gonna need some repairs. So yeah, you guys heard there on the phone with the mechanic. I wanna talk about a couple things. I noticed a couple things recently out on Beetlejuice. I didn't bring them up yet on the channel. Just kind of keeping my eye on them, trying to figure out what was going on. The first time I noticed it was when Weston was in town and we made one of our longer runs, and after we got to one of the spots, I noticed that there was just a little tiny oil slick behind the boat on the top of the water, and I thought at the time that it might have been gasoline because I just filled the boat up. Of course, the pump didn't shut off by itself automatically, and I splashed a bunch of gas all over the rear of the hull of the boat. I wiped it down the best that I could, as I always do, but I thought maybe some residual gasoline was washing off the back of the hull of the boat into the water. I kept an eye on it, and then I didn't see it again throughout the rest of the day, so I didn't really know what was going on. The boat ran flawlessly and never gave me any issues, never has, so I just brought the boat back home at the end of the day, trailered it. But then recently, when we made an even longer run, it was the longest run that I had ever made on Beetlejuice. So I really put the boat to the test and took it further than I ever have. And what I noticed after that trip was also there was a little bit of an oil slick on the water when I returned back to the boat ramp. And then the next morning, after I parked the boat in the driveway, there was just the smallest little amount of 2-cycle engine oil that had dripped onto the driveway. So I did some investigating, and I found that where that 2-stroke oil had come from was from one of the little tiny pinholes in the lower unit, and it looked like unspent oil to me. It looked brand new. I immediately recognized it. It's the same viscosity and the same color as the 2-stroke oil that I put in the 2-stroke tank. It has a separate tank. 2-stroke, you have to mix the gas and oil together unless you have an HPDI motor like I have, or one similar where it mixes the gas and oil for you. You have a separate reservoir for the oil. So I knew what the oil looked like, and when it came out of that pinhole, I finally located where it was coming from. It was just a small residual amount, but it was like brand new oil. So I didn't know what was going on. The boat was running awesome, but it was a concern. So obviously I made the decision to stop right there, not run the boat anymore, and to get it to a mechanic, not only for the yearly maintenance, but to have them investigate why there was a little bit of 2-cycle oil coming out of that pinhole after longer runs. So once the mechanic got eyes on it, obviously you heard there the conversation with the owner of the shop. They discovered that the crankshaft seal was leaking. Now what does that mean? It means that the oil was leaking down from the crankshaft and into the lower unit and then draining out of that pinhole. Why was it happening on longer runs? Because the seal was heating up more, causing it to flex more, causing it to leak out a little bit more oil. So that was why I only noticed it on longer runs, and that was why I hadn't really noticed it before when I was fishing right around here locally. Now, in the grand scheme of things, we did catch it in time. We're gonna be able to make the necessary repairs, and according to the certified Yamaha mechanics at the facility that is currently working on the boat, there are no catastrophic issues. It's just that seal that has failed, leaking a little bit of oil down into the lower unit. They're gonna replace that, and they're gonna do all the yearly maintenance, fix those other few things that I mentioned, and when we get the boat back, it should be in absolute prime working condition, ready to rip, and I'm excited. I'm a little bummed to hear that something like that was going wrong, but I'm glad that we caught it in time. It is a 10-plus-year-old boat, and things go wrong. Outboard 2-stroke motor, you run those things hard. You're either idling around or you're running it wide open. You know how it is, man. Boat, bust out another 1,000, and it looks like that's what I'm about to have to do to get Beetlejuice back in working order, but it is okay. I didn't blow my motor, I didn't blow my lower unit. No major catastrophic damage done to the boat, so I'm happy about that. The repair cost, had we not caught this in time, had I not addressed it now, would have been monumental and insurmountable. So in a way, I'm thankful that I'm in this situation and not a different one. It's not the best case scenario, but it's also not the worst case scenario. So that's kind of an update of what's going on with the boat. It's a bummer. It's a bummer, but at the same time, it's gonna be a good thing because we're gonna get all the yearly maintenance done. We're gonna have the blinker trim working. We're gonna have both of our live wells working with the aerators working. Currently, only the port side live well works for whatever reason. It's either the pump or the switch. They're gonna figure that out and fix it for me. What else? What else? The Ultrex, when I'm on the motor, interferes with the DI only, my down imaging. So 2D sonar looks fine, side imaging looks fine, push the pedal on the Ultrex, down imaging interference. I'm gonna sneeze. So they're gonna look into that. Hopefully that will be fixed as well when we get the boat back. And then we can start focusing on upgrading it instead of repairing it. It would have been nice to spend the money that I'm gonna have to spend repairing that crankshaft seal on a bow graph, which I currently still do not have. Been slacking on that and really just building my fishing gear arsenal over the past year. A bow graph is coming. I need a bow graph. Perhaps you guys could give me some input, some advice, some guidance on what kind of bow graph I should put on the front of Beetlejuice. I do not have a lot of experience with electronics. I currently run a Humminbird Helix 9. I'm probably gonna go ahead and stay with the Humminbird Helix series unless somebody can convince me otherwise, because they can easily network and I could add a second screen without having to do a bunch of different rigging, but I am open to suggestion. And that live scope on Jay's boat is super sick. As you guys have seen me out there with Jay Gone Fishing, he has the Garmin Panoptix live scope. So that's fun to do. It's a cool thing to have on the boat and could be a potential option. But most likely we'll be sticking with the Humminbird stuff. That's what I'm the most familiar with, and I have used it a little bit. So Beetlejuice, rip, rocking, and rolling. What else, man? What else? But yeah, now you guys are abreast of the situation. You are filled in. You're now up to date. Beetlejuice in the shop. When we get the boat back, it's gonna be even better than before, honestly. I'm gonna be ready to rip. And I'm excited to get back out there on the water with you guys. Springtime is almost here. Fish are pre-spawn. They're starting to move up. They're just outside of the edge of the shoreline and it's popping off. I got some exciting content coming your way with my friend Jay Gone Fishing. Make sure you guys stay tuned. We're out there smashing them on the red cranks in a new soft plastic from 6 Cents Fishing. If you guys are interested in seeing that, make sure you sub the channel. Beetlejuice down, but not out. The boat will be back, and I'm excited to see what we can get into out there on the water in the next year. It's sort of a random video. This is a little different than what we normally do here. Normally, we're out on the water, or we're talking fishing gear, tackle, rods, and reels, stuff like that. But right now, I had to update you guys on what was going on with the bass boat, why it's not in the driveway, why we're not out fishing right now. That's gonna wrap it up for this one. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Pocket sand.